I want to introduce a man. I don't want to go through all the hop about who he is, but anybody that's been listening to radio must have heard of a man that is called Chief Priest. And Chief Priest is right here in the studio. He is none other than Mr. Akanemo Samson, and he is the editor-in-chief of the Southern Examiner and one of the most renowned and prolific public affairs analysts in the state and beyond. He is a media guru. He has worked with various national and international media houses, and today we are honored to have Mr. Akanemo Samson, the Chief Priest, in the house. He's going to want to take on these topical issues that we are going to take today. You're welcome to Open Forum with NKO.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. God bless you and bless the listeners.
Thank you so very much. And now, the allegations of the use of USAID and some other NGOs in financing terrorism in Nigeria and beyond. Mr. Trump, President Donald Trump, took over and he appointed the richest man on earth as the director of Dodge. I think, is it Dodge? Government, what is it? There's a name that has to do with efficiency.
Yes, efficiency, digital, and
governance.
Yes.
And let's talk about Elon Musk. And one of the first things, executive order was signed, was to stop funding of USAID, which has affected a number of countries, particularly Nigeria, that depended on aid from there. But we now hear that those aids were targeted at sponsoring terrorism. A member of the U.S. Assembly has also read out figures. We won't go to all the details because of time. And even within the country, the man called Mustafa on Brekete radio and TV show said, I think it was 2022, I watched him, I said, have the video. He said that what is going on in Borno, where California has been exploited all the while, it is done in synergy with NGOs who are not really NGOs, but they are funding terrorism. Now, as an analyst, what do you have to say about this revelation?
Thank you. Trump and his functionaries aren't saying anything new. These are things that have always been in the public domain for at least scholars of the radical movement. You see, Uncle Sam may appear as a good uncle that is always doing good. But you see, beneath the stream that looks so peaceful, underneath there are currents that are going on. I said it on another platform. Who destroyed the medieval China? America. The medieval China was a closed society. What did they use to destroy it? Opium.
Hard drugs.
Yes. Now China has come up. China has held on to the finances of America. The CIA, notorious for its cloak and dagger units, singling out radical, leaders in Africa to eliminate. Most of the Western countries, do they really wish Africa well? The answer is no. And for the gullibility of most of our leaders who follow the lure of the Naira or the lure of the pound sterling, they have helped to underdevelop Africa. And that is why you see for students of the social sciences, they started a study of the development of other development. And that's why you saw the legendary Professor Claude Ake setting up the Center for Advanced Social Science in Port Harcourt, where he said social science is imperialism. Now, the issue is this, with what you said has been doing in not only in Nigeria. Is it the truth of any civilized, quote unquote, civilized society is to keep its neighbors, is to keep its rival busy in crisis? And that is the way they will always know matter. Who are those not supplying the arms? Western countries. Who are the chief provocateurs? Western countries.
Okay,
who are those not floating the NGOs? Western countries.
Jeffries.
Yes.
those are still the problems. Now we're looking at the solution.
And now the only solution, because of our time, let's begin to look inward. There's always what is called homegrown. I keep saying it anyway. Nobody taught my great grandmother how to be clean. Nobody taught the village folk before the advent of the foreign interlopers. For instance, in the ancient axis, the Onap people, not the Portuguese who came in the 17th century. Because how they look. So before the advent of this foreign interlopers, people have known how to be clean, they have known environmental management, they have known architecture, and we're evolving. The foreign interlopers were merely stored. Advances to develop.
Yes, please. Let's do this. Open Forum is advocating that given the revelations that we have in our Bible state, there is no institution, there is no SSA, or there is no particular organ of government that looks at the number of NGOs that operate. Should His Excellency consider the appointment of an SSA on NGOs so that NGOs can be better profiled as much as there are some local NGOs who are just there for political reasons. Some are pro-government, some are anti-government. A number of them are not really pro-people. I have had an encounter with an NGO when I was on hunger strike. I was directed to them and they said, we don't want to do any serious, we are here, we want to engage ourselves to government. So, do you subscribe to the need for His Excellency for Akwa Ibom State?
That clamor is as germane as if it is yesterday. So but let me just quickly say this.
Yes.
One will not know God no better if you have not been tormented by Satan. And therefore, in every negativity, there is always an aspect of positivity.
So we have that advocacy we are recommending because the world's a global stage. USAID, as I've worked in Akwa Ibom, there are some beneficiaries. Now the regulations have come, and Lindume has called for the probe of those that issue. And you know that Nigerians, particularly politicians, were involved in what they wanted to achieve when they wanted to ease Jonathan out, because Jonathan had accused Obama of influencing the elections, and the rest is history now. So we want to appeal to His Excellency that Open Forum is advocating that you have an SSA on NGO and civil society organizations so that we can profile them, where what they are doing, so that we not allow those who don't bring any development to come and be getting information or doing some subversive activities. We want to go very brief on this one. The finance chief, Tigran Gambarian, has dropped a bomb that 3, in fact he said 4 National Assembly members demanded for $150 million to be able to free him. But the ones a number of persons are not really aware has to do with the allegation he made against the National Security Advisor. Hear what he said. He said, National Security Advisor tried to get a law firm to mediate so that he can make money from there for his political aspiration that he wants to succeed. His boss, I'm quoting him, and because they were very inefficient and incompetent at that negotiation, the thing failed. And that also affected Nigeria's relationship with America. Not that our president was not received by Biden when he went there. They couldn't even get enough visa for the UNGA delegation because of this very case. And in Trust America, they struck a deal, and Gambarian and the one that escaped, I've forgotten his name now, okay, Nadim Anjawala, he escaped. Now they are all free people and they are talking tough. What is your thought? Have we been disgraced on world stage, or these allegations have no substance?
The truth of the matter is that until public office occupiers cease to use public office to better themselves, Nigeria is not going anywhere. You see, for me, for the federal government to come and quickly, in defense of government functionaries, is too hasty. The appropriate thing to do, Nuhu Rubadu, this is a weighty allegation.
Very weighty.
You have an ambition of succeeding President Bola Tinubu after he probably will serve 8 years, because the national chairman of the party goes about no bragging that the man will be there for 8 years. Now, the best thing to do to keep your integrity intact, step aside as national security advisor. let that allegation be thoroughly investigated. Institute a legal action in a U.S. court in defense of yourself. Same thing applies to the three federal legislators. Step aside. Federal government should not always be easily chasing about Yahoo boys and waiting it takes. That is profiling your government as being tolerant to corruption, and that is why I'm not happy, comfortable with Transparency International rating us 36. Nigeria should occupy #1 position because corruption is festering every day since the inception of a party known that approximate to Islamic Brotherhood.
Thank you, the chief priest. And for those that are wondering, let me just read exactly what Gambaryan said. He said Ribadu emphasized that he wanted billions in payout to fund his future political ambition. However, when the corruption scandal came to light, he was trapped because any settlement would now be perceived as it right. I guess he really wanted his boss's job. He overstepped his authority and embarrassed Nigeria in front of the U.S. National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan. Let's leave it there. Now, His Excellency, Pastor Moino, has sent the list of commissioner nominees and special advisors and all of that. And we are on the stock taking and agenda setting for Akwa Ibom Without Oil. This is edition number 16. And the focus we want to take as sharp as possible is nomination of commissioners, special advisors, executive order, and establishments to appointment of committee members by Governor Omoino, the excellent, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Open Forum has followed conversations. It took 33 days before His Excellency was able to send the list after disbanding the cabinet inherited, which Open Forum has said that was for us an extension of the tenure of the previous administration. Now His Excellency is appointing his own men, and he wants to take responsibility, but he has appointed 9 of the old commissioners. Some of those commissioners at the last cabinet we believe was one of the most unproductive in the history of Akwa Ibom State. How can we make this very set of commissioners deliver and undo and correct the impression they gave to His Excellency, who actually said in a church service, I think sometime in September, that he does not trust any of them. But 9 of them are back. Speak to each of them as an analyst that you are.
Well, what the governor said in terms of not trusting of them was just not political talk. It's the truth of the matter. I've read it somewhere else that there was no need to dissolve that cabinet. What would have just been done, yank off those you wanted to yank off and bring in those you want to bring in. But when people do change, because that's the essence of life. If we were now to say in terms of maybe the former was commissioner who's coming, what pedigree is he coming in with?
Yes.
Say, for instance, the former information commissioner. What basis? The former information commissioner has been in government since the time of Akwa. And now, well, he tried in terms of, human capital development, in terms of, workers of the Ministry of Information. Yes. But in an information age like this, we're rather looking in terms of, how many Akwa Ibom youth, has been brought, to become, the tigers of the IT, world. That is where we're looking, because that's where the boys are going to employ people. That's where they are going to display their skills in the international arena. That is where Akwa Ibom will be known. Now, it's not going to be business as usual for all the commissioners, because I'm aware there is a body organization that is coming up that is being tagged, Commissioners Watch, that they will be watching them.
You mean we are going to have
another group that we collaborate with Open Forum, for instance, to police the commissioner.
Beautiful.
It's not going to be a juicy thing any longer.
Okay, let's do
because
this.
We want the translation of the rise agenda of Omono practically in terms of tangible dividend of democracy. We're going to see functional health institutions. We want to see, you mentioned why crayfish is cheaper in Aba and more expensive. No, we don't want that again. We want those involved in that sector to be organized into cooperative society. So much so that there are bad people who come back from the cooperative society and not to further deepen, poverty in Akwa Ibom. You buy boat for them, you buy net for them, buy agricultural tools for them, you come cut away the entire thing, the man is hungry, has not got to know anything to
Chief Priest.
Yes, it wouldn't go that way.
I know I can allow you go on, but let's be very specific. We talked about the excellent, the good, the bad, and the ugly. For us, as Open Forum, the most excellent thing His Excellency has done is the setting up of the Labour and Industrial Committee.
Yes.
Because Open Forum hosted Barrister James Essien 3 times, and we raised alarm that we are not making IGR from the oil and gas sector because workers there are paying their taxes to Rivers State and Lagos State. And we raised alarm about that. But thank God His Excellency has done something in that sector. That is the most excellent thing. But so far, the local Labour Committee are having issues. When we look into that, we want to appeal to His Excellency that those local people who were handling those jobs before now should have been carried along. That is the greatest thing, because we're going to generate jobs for our teaming graduates, who we have also said the demand for voter identification number should be done away with. It is too political. There's no state in the country, not even the federal government, that is saying bring your voter's card to show you're a voter before you can be enlisted. Speak to that.
That is right away. That is an error. You see, for instance, when you talk about all workers not paying their taxes in Akwa Ibom, I blame Penderson and Nupen. When I was a bureau chief for newspaper in Port Harcourt, I, as a bureau chief, went to the Board of Internal Revenue of that state to say, hey, I have workers under me. It is wrong for our taxes to be deducted and paid in Lagos. I'm drinking the water of this hall. I'm using the facilities of this state. Therefore, and I made that demand. And we started paying taxes there. So if Nupen and Penderson had also done such a thing that, okay, we are working in Akwa Ibom, our taxes should go to Akwa Ibom. That is what it should be. And that is the logic why the governor wanted the oil companies to relocate, remember the high-rising building which cockroaches are occupying today. Now, anything, any governmental move that will make Akwa Ibom to earn additional revenue, so be it. And I'm against, sidelining people who were involved in that front. Every sector of Akwa Ibom, the aged, the senior citizen, the youth, the women, everybody carry them along in government.
The chief priest,
yes.
In 30 seconds, sir.
Well, once the commissioners are cleared, on the inauguration day, let the governor demand that each and every one of them tender their resignation or data resignation letter. Because any commissioner who doesn't perform should not be allowed to jail longer than necessary.
It's going to be hot.
Oh.